ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Welcome to a brand... Go ahead.
Spanking.
New episode of See You Next Tuesday.
What can we say? We are also Foley artists. And this is for episode 144. We are reading the results of Who Was Wrong. First up, Megan thinks it's weird to get your sibling's name tatted on you, and you don't want one of your wife's name. 13% said I was wrong. 87% said I was not wrong. Now, as I was like rewording this for the votes, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get like properly schooled in this, because as I gave the disclaimer, I don't watch the show. I know nothing about these people. I was going really based off of
Vibes.
And so I'm like, maybe I got the whole thing wrong. No, I actually, it's worse than I had picked up on.
How so?
So someone said, and we can testify, this is one of our patrons who is, as they say, an avid trash reality TV watcher. They said, I actually saw the whole season of the show, and let me tell you that not only is he weird as fuck for tattooing his sister's name and refusing to get her name, that actually isn't the issue, because he already has a tattoo to honor her. He has an S on his finger, which is all but faded. The real issue is his relationship with his sister, because he seems to prioritize their relationship over the one with his wife, as well as cater more to his sister's feelings than his wife's as well. Fun fact, that this entire thing plays out on her actual birthday made it even fucking worse.
Ugh. Yikes.
Because, like, yeah. The fact that, like, the tattoo part, not as big of a, like, that, no, it's not just the tattoo, it's that he quite literally prioritizes his sister he met later in life over his wife. Yeah, that's worse. That's objectively worse. I could see why you'd be crashing out over a tattoo, because that becomes an inked permanent reminder of that feeling.
And you find out about it on your birthday?
I don't know if she found out about it on her birthday, but the fight I think about it was on her birthday.
Okay.
Someone else said... Not gonna lie, this is so cringe. Yeah. I tried so hard to find a photo of his tattoo of his sister's name, but I wasn't kidding when I said this man has like, he's a scrapbook of bad tattoos. Okay. So I didn't want to include one that that I wasn't positive was that, and they're hard to decipher.
Did you get on Reddit?
Yeah, it was hard. He shows it on the show, but like it's a wide shot, and he's got lots of bad ones.
Got it.
So I didn't want to point to the wrong one. Someone else said, my exception is if they passed away. Otherwise, heck no. Sincerely, a girl with estranged siblings. Yeah, we both agree with that. If it passed away, totally. Someone else said, I get matching sibling tattoos, but having each other's names is kind of creepy. It's giving siblings are dating and Sweet Home Alabama. Also, who is still getting people's names tattooed on their bodies? The only exception is if they're dead. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I don't think you should get names if you want your kids' names, okay. But also, like, what if your kid changes their name? Like, what... Names are like
tattoo.
Yes, I'm saying like names aren't permanent unless that person is dead. And so I just think that. And do you want to explain it to every person? Someone else said, I have 4 siblings and I can see where this person's coming from. I would do matching or dedicated tattoos for my siblings. Never just their name, but that is due to my personal tattoo style preference. But a lot of people tattoo style and preferences can be very simple and basic. Think like classic infinity with the date in it, lion, rose, watch combo, very millennial tattoo vibes. Because a sibling relationship cannot change. Like whatever happens, they're still your sibling. Well, getting a tattoo of your partner's name is riskier because there's always a risk of breaking up, no matter how solid the relationship may be at the time.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, but sibling, I don't think any relationship is permanent. Like,
no.
Regardless of.
Well, if your sibling turns up to be a Trumpy,
or Ted Bundy.
Right.
Like, that's, you,
no
yeah.
thanks.
No, and like, as someone who, like, I think this whole, like, oh, you know, like, they'll always be your family. It's not true, because, like, family is, like, an active role. And, like, if they're not playing that active role, then they are not your family, and there are people who play that active role in your life who you're not blood related to, who I think are family like that. So I think that growing up with a sibling and like wanting to get a tattoo for them, totally. I think in general, late in life, names, tattoos of siblings that you, again, meet later in life, it's objectively weird. Someone else said, in general, I think getting someone's name on you is a little weird. It's not even my favorite when people get their kids' names or faces tattooed on them. Ooh, never do the face. I understand the sentiment, but I feel like it could have been a bit more creative. Also, to have your sibling who you literally just met versus your wife who you sleep in the same bed with tattooed is really crazy. This gives sister fucker energy, and I hate it. Yeah, because I think the tattoo he says he has for his wife is like a rose representative of something, or even like the other person said, like an S. Like, yeah. But we're getting like, oh, it's an interpretation. Couldn't be an interpretation of your sister? Or you don't know her well enough at this point to get that. I will say, though, as from what I've seen, if I'm not wrong, his sister looks like the exact opposite of her. And if there is any sort of like weird closeness there, that's like is she your type? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of vibe where it's being like, okay, she's got dark eyes, dark hair. I've got light eyes, light hair. Like, it just feels, and they don't look alike. Her and him.
Like I said, I contributed all I needed to contribute to this when we originally recorded it, and I have nothing else to say.
But now she's like doing a press tour being like, our relationship is good. And I was like, girl, it's okay if it's not, because like that was really fucking weird. And also, maybe don't be on a reality show if you're going to be upset that people are now criticizing your relationship.
She should be used to it by now.
Yeah.
She was an OG Vanderpump Rule person.
Mm-hmm. I don't really like name tattoos in general, but to get one of your sister's name and then refuse to get one for your wife or kids is wild behavior. Something fishy's going on, and I do not like it.
All right, next one. Melissa says, stop letting AI ruin your business. 2% said I was wrong. 98% said I was not wrong. Someone did ask for a recommendation for another app, and
I noticed that in our email.
And so I just did a little reach out. Yeah, we're working on it.
Melissa said, help me help you. I literally, as soon as I found their email, I said, I see what she's doing. I know what she's doing.
They're sponsoring a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, we got to connect very quick.
And also, they're not, it's just like a generic code, so it doesn't even matter how well it's performing. Someone said, they're using AI for job applications now, and I hate it. Every job I've applied at that uses AI, I never end up getting hired or even a response. Yeah. AI, after this, I did see some legitimate people that were on AI interviews, and sometimes there would be 2 AI bots in the room, the Zoom room, and they would start talking to each other. And this guy moved forward in an interview where he barely said anything.
Am I interrupting?
Because they thought that the other bot was the actual person.
The way that like this is all happening in the time where everybody's like, I love Black Mirror. So much that you want to cosplay being in the middle of, like, it's just so fucking weird.
I'll give tips for jobs. Always get on. First of all, have a great LinkedIn profile. I've gotten so many jobs and connections in the last year. Since this, I am going to be a guest speaker in a couple weeks for a class. that I'm getting paid for. And what else? I got a couple like random people asking about audiobooks. I have got like a couple writing jobs. And my secret is, other than like the random asking of things from people, my secret for applying for things is apply for it, but then find somebody that works at that company, hopefully an HR person, and connect with them. And I don't say anything. I just connect with them. But then now they have a real face. And then when it comes across their desk, they're like, oh, that's that person I connected with. And then they'll say something. They'll usually say something. They'll send me a message after that.
Good call. Someone
else said regarding the Google search AI, if you add -AI at the end of your search, it doesn't show you the AI summary. And it also does its best to filter out AI images.
I need to start doing that, the -AI, because I get so annoyed. And also, the way I'm like, you people how are you going to look up criminal records of the people that you and your friends are dating if you don't know how to use Google?
Yeah. Another person said, I'm pretty sure Fable, the reading app, had an issue with AI reader profiles being racist last year, and companies are still doing this. I don't know what that is, but I'll look into it.
Fable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're like Goodreads-ish, and I think what had happened was they did like a wrap-up similar to Spotify. Like
I did hear about this.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I'm pretty sure they made a statement like very quickly afterwards of being like, yeah, we're so sorry, this was not like a person who did this, like this was the AI model, and like we agree that like this is alarming that this AI model like focused on race, and specifically focused on race when like took people's race, but I don't know if they entered it in or they just assumed based on like the books that they were reading, and then made like comments about
inferences.
Yeah, exactly. Like they made it be as if like we're all in it, like written from that POV to people being like, what the fuck? And it's not.
What's up, shoddy?
Yeah, like it was not right. And they was like, okay. But the defense was like, okay, we'll work on the AI. And then a lot of people were like, oh, what do you mean you have a community? And it's a community-driven book account.
Spotify also did this with the Spotify Wrap. There were racist things that were popping up.
That doesn't surprise me as much, mostly because Spotify is, in general, things that are like algorithm-based like that. But like when you're trying to build and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Fable is supposed to be like building a book community. I think when you talk about like community forward, like we really want a community. Or you can't say that you want a community when you're an army of robots saying humans interact. Like that part to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think there's a way to successfully like get a robot or get AI to do what you want to. You have to be human forward.
Yeah. Somebody else said deleted Duolingo after they announced being AI first. So sad. Literally have been using it since 2017. They tanked themselves. They sure did. Someone said, to be honest, I was looking for a reason to end my Duolingo streak because I was tired of that little green bird telling me what to do with every fucking day. I'm so sick and tired of companies using human labor to get them famous and then switching to dumbass computers who don't know what they're doing. I didn't realize how overused AI is to the point where people are too lazy to do a simple math calculation or Google search. It's actually more work to be using the AI than to just do it yourself. Correct.
Yep.
Another person said, as someone who studied translating and interpreting, I could not agree more. AI assistants can be valued in language learning, yes, but at the core of every language are people and their culture. You cannot get that from a computer. Never. You lose connotation and nuances and actual language in use. Without those things, you can never be fully proficient in a language, let alone truly connect to it. Someone else said the Duolingo one makes me so mad. I have a 1,347 day streak and the group chat has all friended each other and even have friend streaks. So it's suffice to say I've used the app for a while. I also have premium paid through December, but the overrun of their AI marketing is so terrible. You have to pay more to use the AI feature on the app past premium, which is ad free, to pro. It makes me so irate that my money that I've already paid is going directly to funding the active replacement of real employees with AI. You can't learn language with AI. You need real people who know the language. They are so wrong, and Melissa is so right. Another perk of joining our community of live streamers, because they are learning languages together.
And we're learning the metric system. That's an inside joke. You'll get it if you're on the Patreon.
But if you're a new member, you won't, because the discussion has been banned.
Yeah, but then we tell as soon as everyone's like, wait, what? Everyone's like, we'll write it in the chat. We'll write it in the chat. We'll tell you why it's banned. Then we have writer number 1, the big egg rant. 12% said the writer is wrong. 88% said the writer is not wrong. Someone said, I don't know what an egg flight is, and I've decided that I am okay with that.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah. Someone else said, why is eggs the default savory breakfast? Also, I may or may not have been recruited to make UGC for big potato, so definitely wouldn't be surprised if big egg is a real thing. Huh.
I mean, Big Egg has been around for a while. I don't know if you probably don't remember this in the 90s, but they used to have commercials that came on and it'd be like, I love eggs from my head down to my legs. The incredible edible egg. Like, there is a Big Egg. It exists.
I bet you that right now, I don't have cable, so I wouldn't know, but I bet you we are lacking one of the greatest commercials that we usually have. Avocados from Mexico. I bet they don't do that one anymore.
So I just looked it up. The incredible edible egg is a marketing slogan from the American Egg Board, which was created in 1974 by the advertising agency Campbell Mitham. So yes, Big Egg does exist.
I don't like that they're talking about edible eggs because it makes me think of inedible eggs, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, just say eggs. If you're trying to get more people to eat eggs, don't be like, don't worry, you can eat these eggs. Well, what eggs can't you eat? Like, don't be fucking gross about it. Don't make me think about the egg. No one wants to think about the egg. Someone else said writer is not wrong. I have never heard of egg flights before this episode. I had to look up what it was in the middle of the episode. You are with community. This had me dying because I'm Canadian and I never realized before, but ever since I can remember, I've been seeing egg ads. We get egg commercials on TV, billboard ads, just eggs everywhere. This obviously isn't totally aligned with what the writer was talking about, but it's what reminded me of it. It's not ads for a specific brand of eggs or anything. It's simply Canadian Big Egg, aka egg farmers, being like, eggs are so cool. Eat eggs, please. They've had an ad campaign called Eggs Anytime for the past few years that's like, eggs for dinner isn't weird. You're weird for thinking it's weird. I have always thought it was kind of wholesome, so it made me wonder if America has an equivalent. The website for Canadian Big Egg is eggs.ca, and every province has their own big egg, such as getcracking.ca in Ontario and eggspei.ca in Prince Edward Island. My friend did marketing internship for our province Big Egg when we were in university. And the Canadian Big Eggs Instagram account is eggs, OEUFS. Eggsuf.
IncredibleEgg.org exists, and it actually is a beautiful website. If you go right now, you'd think it was just a cooking website, but they've got different egg recipes up. The layout is impeccable. They even have how to grow things in egg cartons. Ooh. Baked avocado eggs. They've got a key lime pie up. They've got spinach and egg omelet. The nutcrackers, a classic deviled egg, desserts. Honestly, this website looks incredible. I think you would like it. But then when you scroll down, then they have like the professionals, the egg board, ENC, whatever that stands for. But they bring you in with recipes, and then the propaganda's at the bottom.
There you go. Someone else said, peanut butter and jelly with eggs, rotted. Yeah. I do like eggs, but I normally eat 1 egg, 2 max. I don't want to eat 6 eggs in one sitting. Surely that can't be good for your cholesterol. And peanut butter and jelly on an egg is a crime. I hate it here. I will always be here for big egg propaganda slander. Even though I do love the occasional boiled egg, and I make a delicious deviled egg every year that my family loves, there's only a small window of time where eggs are acceptable in my vicinity, and all other times I need them to be non-existent, if not in a baked good. That's the part that I think is like, it's a universal feeling, and that's why I think Big Egg needed to rebrand. Someone said, deviled eggs are the only eggs that don't give me the ick, until you mentioned adding something like peanut butter. So sorry to ruin that for you.
Writer number 2, would it be wrong to ask the guy you're dating to be exclusive now that he's gotten busy at work? The way that gotten busy at work, it sounds like he's fucking at work.
Yeah, now that you read that in that voice, I was like, uh-oh. Not what I meant to infer.
22% said the writer is wrong. 78% said the writer is not wrong. Someone said, update us after you have dated other people, aka diversify your love life, writer. Someone else said, I voted writer is wrong because I think she wants to lock him down for the wrong reasons. I was boyfriend/girlfriend with my partner after 3 months, but we'd spent every waking minute together because of lockdown. If this was the same case, I say go for it, but it sounds like the writer is just doing it out of anxiety or something. Felt deja vu listening to this. Mini update from my Don't Blame Me call. Basically, right when I had the conversation, he had to start a job hunt to stay in the country because his student visa extension is expiring in July and his current job can't sponsor him. So I am rightly so on the back burner for now, and I feel the writer's pain. Sorry, person. We don't remember the exact thing that you wrote in about, so please give us a little update. We'd
love it.
We have hundreds of things on our minds and hundreds of episodes of these shows. It's hard for us to keep track. So always give us a little update. If you're giving an update, recap what you did before.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you've, at a certain point, we'll remember, like if we have your Instagram attached to it repeatedly, like we'll remember, but especially for the first update or like if it's been a minute. Then we have my nomination for Wrong of the Week. The Sid Towel Snark members, 81% the Snark is wrong, 19% of the Snark is not wrong. Now, some people wrote in being like, wait, why the fuck is this so high? There are like at least 5 people who wrote in who were like, shit, I'm so sorry, I voted wrong. And I believe them. There are some people from our Patreon who like, I know did not mean to vote this way. I don't know about the rest. I wonder if people are like, they think this specific kind of snark was wrong, but they don't think the idea of snark is wrong. I'm talking about this specific. That's what this is about. This isn't about like, you're not going to get us holier than thou saying you shouldn't gossip. This is our fault. Like, come on. Like, we love gossip. This is like a different thing. Someone said, hope these snarkers never get cancer themselves. God forbid their loved ones get cancer. This is just low trash behavior. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I saw someone who like on the subreddit who was not who was on like the subreddit they made after the first one got taken down, and they were very much doing like, I'm not saying anything mean, I'm just asking questions, like I'm just, and like it was very much like the mm-hmm. Like this is, and I looked at their profile and like they have cancer and like they're going through that themselves, and it seemed that they were taking a lot of the free time that they had to question why someone might be seemingly from their POV either handling their medication better or whatever it was, that it couldn't be real. It couldn't be that this person had it. They were just asking questions, and it was like, yeah, this also makes sense to me that if you are not and everybody handles medication differently. And like, even if you have like, and I don't think this person, I think the cancer that they had mentioned having, if they were being honest, was not nearly as aggressive as hers, but like wasn't handling the medication and the treatment as well as someone who has a much like more severe treatment plan, and someone who has like a much more aggressive form of cancer where it's this, but the idea of like rationalizing of being like, they have to be then lying is pretty fucked to me.
Yeah. Like at this point, everybody knows somebody that has cancer, like, or has had cancer. So we've all been touched by it in some way. Where's the sympathy?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people, their defense of this was like, as somebody whose parent had cancer, I just know that she's lying. This is not something to lie about. I'm like,
no, all cancers are different. They all, even the same type of cancer can attack a person in a very different way. You can't judge one person by another.
Yeah, and I think if you want to take your anger out on somebody in regards to how they portray, take it out on people who are putting out medical misinformation and telling people to not go to doctors, telling people that if they go out in the sunlight, they shouldn't wear sunscreen. Like, take that like mentality of like, I have a lot of pent up rage and anger about losing someone that I love, and take that to people who are increasing the risk for other people. Take it to people who are saying, hey, don't get chemo. You can actually just cure your cancer by eating salad. Like, take it to those people. And I understand that, like, as somebody who has like lost people in my life to, like, you know, drug epidemic, I'm not going after people who are doing drugs. No, my issue is with the people who overprescribe. My issue is with the criminals. My issue is with like the system that makes these things happen, not the people who are either a victim to said system or are just participating in said system. Like, there's a huge difference there. So I think that energy can be much better used. Someone else said, cheers to research and cheers to journalism. Yeah, it's a really incredibly well written article. If you type in the name of the article that I referenced, which is, I said it in the first episode, and you look up Reddit, someone did post a gifted article, because now it is behind a paywall, but you can see the link. That is a free one to read. Someone else said, what do they actually gain by proving whether or not she has cancer? If she's not crowdfunding money or manipulating people, then who is being hurt? As much as I love how real and vulnerable people can be on social media, I also hate it because shit like this happens. I truly hope she's able to find peace from all of this. I can't imagine going through something that life-altering and then having people accuse something so hard to go through to be fake. Yeah, I also think that, like, I don't know that anybody else is ever going to get, like, this, the comeuppance of this. Like, that very rarely, like, people accuse people of lying and then, like, they get off the internet or whatever, or it happened to someone and then they, like, someone, I saw on that subreddit, they were referencing another girl who was, like, talking about her boyfriend's, like, journey with cancer, and everyone's like, she's lying. And then, like, she was gone on the internet, and then she came back and he died. And she, like, announced that. And so
you talked about that.
Yeah, there's very rarely any sort of, like justice or, like, the proof. And the fact that, like, she was able, and these journalists were, like, wanted to do this story, and they proved this, and they called these people out, that so many people don't get that, like, level of, like, hey, these people were wrong, and, like, this was fucked up for what you did. And I think, like, the whole reason why I'm sure she agreed to do the story is because she just doesn't want it to happen to anybody else. And I have to say, like, this is the only thing that's ever happened that has given me any sort of hope that people would not speculate about health of people. Like, speculating about health, I think Chadwick Boseman was, like, a very, like, people reference all the time now, being like, hey, let's not do that, because, like, people did that and, like, look what happened. And I think this will set a precedent that I actually think will make, like, propel this forward, hopefully. Or at least maybe help Reddit get these kind of communities under control. Someone else said, what do you mean 19% voted not wrong? Am I missing something? I thought it was pretty clear that subreddit is full of terrible people doing a terrible thing. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
All right, then. My wrong of the week was Liberty Hotel. 94% said the hotel is wrong. 6% said the hotel is not wrong.
Remind me to say something about the hotel when you're done.
Okay. Someone said, this happened insanely close to my university, and people keep acting shocked that it's in Boston. As someone from here, there are many transphobic people, especially the wealthy elite of that area. Yeah, Boston is very racist.
Yeah. Did people not know that? I thought with love, I did think we knew that.
Yeah. I think people are just so insular to where they are, and they're like, us? No, yeah, you. Someone else said, I literally have no words. This is not only heartbreaking, but also terrifying. God knows how many women this has happened to. and it is just being swept under the rug. No, 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 no. Same person said, this is also why I personally advocate for all bathrooms to be single stall. In my head, if you can just make a bunch of single stall bathrooms and then have public sinks together or something for people to wash their hands. That way, the ratio between the men's bathroom always being open and the women's stalls always being full could be balanced, and no one has to share a bathroom with anyone. I love clubs that do this. There are a lot of clubs that do that. And there's never lines because people aren't just like hanging around.
Okay, so I learned while pulling images for this hotel, I was like, this looks like it's interesting, like architecturally. And then I saw the inside and I said, this looks odd. And then one of my Google suggestions was before and after. This used to be a jail, and they have like the bars that like on the racks that like roll through for like the whole thing. The lobby of the hotel seemingly is like the main floor where you've got like the exposed railings and all of that stuff. And then they have either a bar or a coffee shop that is in there now called the Clink.
How long ago was it a jail?
Black and white photos.
Okay, but that could be the 60s or the 1820s.
Well, they can just put it in black and white as well.
Yeah.
You know that they do that. What's it called again? Liberty Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at pictures, I was like, and everyone's like, it's super haunted. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm like all for like, oh, let's, changing things up like that. I do think having a bar / coffee shop that's called the Clink is deeply insensitive.
But also calling it the Liberty Hotel is also insensitive.
Oh my God. I thought it was based on a location.
Yeah, because it's one of the 13 original colonies.
Charles Street Jail. I assumed it was called like Liberty Jail. They kept the name. No, it was called Charles Street Jail. And they're like, it has a rich history. What do you mean rich history? I don't know. Maybe that's like a crazy thing. I'm like not into repurposing jails like that. Banks, sure.
Yeah, I love a bank house.
I love a bank event space.
I love
beautiful.
a old school that has been changed.
Stunning.
Incredible. I didn't mean to say old school when I started it, but then I had to actually say it.
But or even train stations. Like I love that kind of stuff. Jail? No.
So it was built in 1851.
Oh my God, these captions. Secret Boston, from infamy to luxury. This is disgusting.
When was it? It wasn't even renovated until 2007. Like in 1973, the U.S. District Court ruled that because of overcrowding, the jail violated the constitutional rights of the prisoners there.
Melissa, Malcolm X was there, as well as Henry David Thoreau, Whitey Bulger, the Boston Strangler. There are people a lot. Like, this is...
Yeah.
This is... No.
It's now owned by the Massachusetts General Hospital.
Oh, we're double dipping in the corruption.
Right.
Yeah, in 1973, the old Charles Street Jail stopped operating as a prison due to deteriorating conditions and concerns over inmate welfare.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to stay there as a hotel? Grab a drink at the Clink?
That's gross.
It's really gross.
Like, this is recent.
Yeah, this is really gross. And from the second I saw the picture of the outside, I was like, this looks a little odd for like a hotel. It doesn't look like a hotel. And it looks a little bit more like an old college campus. And I was like, okay. And then I looked at the inside, and something was off. Like, it just feels here. Like, something feels off.
I can't really see it, but I'm on the website.
If you look at the Liberty Hotel interior, immediately I was
I'm on the lobby on Wikipedia.
I thought at first I was
see the different levels of where it was a jail.
And I've been to different hotels that have like somewhat of a similar structure, and they used to be libraries. But I'm really like, this didn't used to be a library. I can tell this didn't used to be a library. What did this used to be? And then, cool, okay. This in luxury. Like, people died here. Like, this is just like really. And I think people view this as like, well, yeah, but like they're bad people. So do you think we only recently started accusing innocent people and like having all of our like horrific practices of the justice system now? Or do you think maybe we've always done that? You know? And also like even like the victims of people who like actually did commit heinous crimes and do horrible things. And it's like, oh, yeah, we actually couldn't keep this. And like, what happened to those people who are there? Yeah. I just like, this is crazy to me.
Would never ever say here.
Ever.
Now that I know, I'm looking at an old picture of the lobby, and it's not that different.
No, it's exactly
they
the
just
same.
painted it. They
it's
just painted
exactly
it
the same. And everyone's like, look how cool the side by side is. And I go, what
That's
are we
not
calling
cool.
cool? Like, this is, I don't find this fun fact. Like, this feels deeply unsettling from the start. And like, even like these like, come look at like how luxurious. And I was like, this is not. Because like,
no, thank you.
Do you see what the outside looks like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you tell where I was like, this doesn't look like a hotel.
Yeah.
This looks something else. It's fucked. So.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that little tidbit.
Yeah, it was really crazy. So I would love to hear from anyone in Boston. If you like, you knew if this is like a well-known kind of a thing, or if it was like, you know, if they've done such a good job rebranding that like you, because we've got some people who are younger too. Like if you like didn't know it, like didn't even know.
But 2007, like this is recent.
No, but like they didn't even know that if there's a hotel there now.
Right.
Like if it's like gotten popular enough, or if it's like, do people talk about it? I'd love to know. Like within the community, what's the response to that? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they decided that they were going to make Alcatraz like a hub for like wakeboarding, like, no, fucking weird.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. On that note, we're going to wrap this bitch up. We will see you on Thursday for Don't Blame Me, Friday for Fisting Friday, Monday for But Am I Wrong? And then we'll be back here because we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada.
I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.